In the previous tutorial, we wrote a script that checks CPU usage of a Linux machine. In this video, we are going to do the same but for a Windows machine using PowerShell. So if you're a beginner to automation, this tutorial is for you. Let's get started. One of the most important things that we are going to use here, we are going to use getCounter. So getCounter returns performance counter objects. When we write our script, our PowerShell script, so this is what we are going to use to return the performance counter. Another thing that we are going to use is the write host. This commandlet, the purpose is to use it to print out an output to the screen. We are also going to use the start sleep. In order not to flood our screen, we are going to use this to print output on a given interval. For instance, we want our output to be printed every 5 seconds. So this is what we are going to use to control that. Another thing we are going to use is the comparison operators. So we are going to use it to compare the output, or rather to compare or to write conditions that the script is going to follow in order to decide on the output to present. Another thing we are going to use is the mathround method. We are going to use it to make calculation in order to print our outputs. Let's get started. I already have here the script that we are going to use in order not to waste a lot of time. So this is part of the script, or rather part of the code that we are going to use. I'm also going to write some kind of a threshold here. For instance, our script is going to send us a message or print out a message whenever the CPU utilization is greater or equal to 80%. Like I started in the beginning, we are using the getCounter to return the performance of the CPU. Then we are using the processor time to process calculate the total of the entire processors that the PC contains. And also we are using the to print the first item and on the list. Once we make this calculation, we are going to print, or rather not calculation, but once we get this output, we are going to insert it into the CPU variable that we've got here. Then here we are making using this if statement to kind of calculate, to make sure or to check if the output that we got, if it is greater or equals to the threshold that we declared here at the top. If it is greater or equals to the threshold, we are going to use write host to write out this information in red. This is what you have here. The foreground color determines like the color in which you want to print the output. Here we are using the math method which I showed earlier in order to calculate our CPU. So if the other way around, if it is the CPU is below 80%, it's going to make the same calculation and send us information that the CPU is usage is okay. It is still within the threshold that we defined. Also here, we are using the start sleep to kind of print out the output every 5 seconds, because we don't want this to be printing on a regular basis. So every 5 seconds, it's going to spit out an output, giving us updates as to the status of the CPU. So now this is all that we needed. I'm going to save this, and we are going to test our code. Let me press F5 and give it some time. It's going to print out the output on the screen. It's printing the outputs. So what's happening here is that if as you can see, It's printing output every 5 seconds, which is what we declared earlier. And this machine is probably at this very percentage because it's an old machine which is like really like a lot of data on it. So I'm sure that this is printing the actual utilization of the CPU. So this is just as simple as that. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, can I ask you to please subscribe to my channel, to like and to share. Thank you.